Buonasera. Buonasera. Sometimes in life, you get an offer you cannot refuse. Just the other day, I received such an offer. One of the Dons from the 5 families contacted me. Don Vito Stephanopoulos McGraffarino. He asked me, could I make the Olive Garden gnocchi and chicken soup breadstick recipe? But he asked me, could I make the recipe affordable for the entire family? I told the Don, I can do this for you. I told the Don, once I do this for you, then you will owe me a favor. And the Don smiled. So what I want for you to stick around, because we're doing it next. Alright everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm having a little fun with the Don. Anyways, let's get started. So we're going to start off with a roasted chicken, $7.99. And we're going to take our time and get as much meat off this chicken as we can. And put it into our bowl and shred it up the best we can for the soup. We're going to try and come in under Olive Garden's $12.50 per person as listed on the menu that I looked at this morning. So let's see how we do making this at home and see if we can feed the family for less. And we're going by a typical family of 4. Okay, so once we get the chicken all shredded up, we're going to get our Dutch oven out. We're going to put a knob of butter in it and some olive oil. And I've got 1 white onion that I've diced up at $1. Yeah, believe it or not, $1 for an onion. Ridiculous. I got 3 small celery sticks that I chopped up as well. And we're going to call those at 65 cents. And with the heat on medium, we're going to cook those down until they're nice and translucent. And once we get those cooked down, I've got 3 small carrots that I've chopped up and 4 cloves of garlic that I've minced. So we're going to put those into the pot as well. The garlic we're going to call 50 cents and the carrots we'll call $1. I've still got the heat on medium, and we'll cook these down until they begin to soften just a little bit. Now you're going to need a 1/4 cup of all-purpose flour, and a little bit at a time we're going to add the flour and cook it in. You've got to cook flour when you make a roux, basically is what we're doing. If you don't cook the flour a little bit, then your product is going to taste like flour. The reason we're doing this is this will help thicken the soup. But like I said, you've got to cook for a few minutes the flour down. That's very important. You just don't want to throw the flour in there and then move on to the next step, because you're going to have soup that tastes like flour. Alright, so we'll get all our flour in there, we'll cook it up. And next we're going to need 3 cups of milk. And we're going to slowly add the milk to our dish. A little bit at a time, mix it in, and you'll see it starting to thicken up. And while I'm doing this, if I could remind you to like, share, subscribe, hit that bell, stay up to date on news recipes. I really appreciate it. And we're going to call the milk $1.99. Okay? And you can see how thick that is. So we're going to add some more. It came out to about 3 total cups of milk that we put into this. I've also got about 2 cups of chicken stock standing by to control the thickness of the soup. So we'll add chicken stock later as well until we get it to the thickness that we desire. So we'll just keep on working the milk. Keep stirring. Now we've got our seasonings. A teaspoon of salt, a teaspoon of pepper, a teaspoon of thyme. I said thyme. It's thyme. Alright, we'll give that a good mix in. Now, we're going to add a little bit of the chicken broth just to start to thin this out a little bit, because we still got quite a ways to go. And we'll just mix that in and let that simmer for a few minutes. Move over to the cutting board. And I've got some baby spinach that we're going to just give a real rough chop to. Doesn't have to be real small pieces, just a nice rough chop, because the spinach will shrink up. And we're going to call the spinach $3.65. Alright, that's good for the spinach. Now it's time to add our chicken to the soup. Get that all mixed in nice. And that thickness is right about where we like it. Now I've got a package of pre-made gnocchis, $3.50. You can make your own if you like, be even cheaper. But as for convenience, after a long day of working, these store-bought ones work perfect. So we'll mix those in. And then it's time to add our spinach. Alright, once we get the spinach mixed in, we're going to turn the flame down to simmer. And we're going to let this just slowly simmer while we work on the breadsticks. Now I bought a package of the frozen New York style breadsticks, but we're going to do a little work on them to kick them up a notch, make them a little bit better than they really are from the manufacturer. So I've got a 3/4 stick of butter, 2 cloves of garlic in a saucepan, and we're going to let that saute and simmer on low for about 5 minutes and let that butter absorb all that garlic flavor. Then we're going to use our strainer and pour it out. Keep the garlic from going into the butter, and now you've got garlic infused butter, and we're going to put that on the side to coat our breadsticks once they come out of the oven, which we're going to pop in right about now. And these breadsticks were $5.49. And we're going to cook those for about 5 minutes. Once we pull them out of the oven, we're going to brush them with our garlic butter and just hit them with a light amount of salt on top. And we'll do each one that way, and just this little bit will add so much to these breadsticks. Make them so much better than they are just out of the box and cooked. Almost like you made them at home. Alright, we got the breadsticks done. It's time to serve this meal up. We got our bowl out, a couple scoops of the sauce to the soup. Grate on some fresh Parmesan Reggiano on top. Plate up with our breadsticks. And you've got Olive Garden's Gnocchi chicken soup with breadsticks at $5.55 per person, as opposed to $12.50 per person if you go to the Olive Garden and order it there. All right, enjoy and come back soon.